What's up everybody, Scratch coming up with another Raid Shadow Legends video. Today we have Ash here with us, guys. We're gonna debate on the best and the worst legendary champions that they are in the entire game based on our own opinion. So, how you doing, Ash? Nice to have you here, buddy.
Scratch, it's a pleasure to be on, man. Thanks for having me. How you doing?
Yeah, pretty good, buddy, pretty good. Excited to get this done, honestly.
Me too. Where are we gonna start with? The best of the worst?
I mean, I guess we can start with the worst, right?
Yeah, might as well. Might as well. We need some big buffs to these champions, right?
Absolutely, and they are working on it. At least that's what they've said, that in the next couple of updates we'll be getting some reworks on Void Champions. It's been like, what,
Yeah.
2-3 months, maybe more since they said that, so I'm still waiting for it, honestly.
Yeah, they said they were going to release the new faction, which they've done, and then after that was going to come a Doom Tower rebalancing, which they've kind of done / announced, and then comes the Void rebalancing. So we're excited to see not just legendary like we're talking about in today's video, Scratch, but really excited to see the epic and rare champions that they buff, because I think there's a lot of necessary buffs.
Yeah, hopefully they will go to that extent as well, not just legendaries.
Yeah, like hopefully not a lot of nerfs too, right? I imagine they're not going to, but that would really suck if they're just like, yeah, a bunch of nerfs.
Yeah, nerfs, they're not good, man. Like, especially books, they cost a lot of money. Level up champions cost you a lot. Masteries and all this cost you a lot. And if you just come and nerf champions, is always so bad for the player base and just for the whole community. It's just not a good idea. No matter how bad you think the champion is broken, because we don't really have broken champions at the moment. I think they're fairly decent. We do need stronger nukers to be able to compete with Tranda on non-void, but rather than that, I think we're pretty good on the balance. We just need more buffs.
100%. Yeah, I don't think anybody can point to, one champion, or can they? We'll see in today's video, but one or two champions that are just extremely like breaking the game,
Definitely.
All right. So who's your first champion that needs a buff in your opinion?
Honestly, I gotta say, is V6. We're all getting it for free. I managed to be the lucky man who owns 2 V6. So
me too.
Welcome to the club.
Thank you.
We're saying it like that. You're only a true player if you own 2 V6. So that's just more to troll. V6. Honestly, she needs a lot. I feel like at the point when they decided to release V6, right? I think was some sort of drama with the community, if I remember it right. Something happened. I think she was honestly meant to be an epic champion, man. And I think they just reskin her into a legendary and threw her in the rewards to kind of calm down all the business that was going on at that point. I think that's what happened with it. I mean, she does have the design of a legendary, but the skill-wise, she feels honestly like such an average epic champion, like not even a good epic. What do you think about that?
Yeah, it's weird, right? Because I think that, first of all, just kind of like Whirlwind Frost King, I understand why Visix gets a lot of hate. She's certainly not, no endgame players are going to be using Visix. I mean, around the time when you're unlocking her, you probably have better options, right? But with that said, I don't think she's a trash champion either. Like, she's just not a Void legendary, right? I mean, decreased speed AoE on a 3-turn cooldown, and then a 3-turn or 2-turn ally protect on a 3-turn cooldown. I think that if they just turned your A3 into an AoE provoke, I think that she's solid. What about you? What do you think the fix should be on her?
Yeah, I think that would be definitely good. Increase that and maybe make that aura for all dungeons and stuff like that, not just faction wars. I think that could work in some sort of manners. She's not
definitely good for faction wars, but that's about it, right?
Pretty much, yeah. But honestly, it is pretty hard to beat the faction wars. But then I think by the time you get, how you said, to actually get the champion from the daily login rewards, you might already have better options even for the whole faction,
Yeah, no, I hear you, man. I don't know. I think that Visix is, I mean, she has a high defense. She's definitely a hardy champion. But to your point, there's definitely a lot to be desired. She would be on my list too if she wasn't already on yours.
Yeah. She's definitely in the top hottest in the game, I think, though.
She's got to be in the running. Yeah, I agree with you there. And I also think she's in the running for like champions that you just don't want to pull when you open a Void Shard. Like, there's nothing worse. I got people tweeting at me, Scratch, being like, dude, I pulled a Void Legendary. Good news. Bad news. It was Visix.
Like, when it's double Voids, I'm like praying a few days before, please don't give me a V6 again. I'm like,
yeah,
I don't want one. I don't want to see it.
Well, let me ask you this, and maybe this is unreasonable ask, especially considering who we're talking to here. But do you think that the daily login reward champions ought to be removed from the pool, similar to how Doom Tower and Lydia is not available in the shard opening pool, because we're all going to get them anyway.
Absolutely. I feel like they should do that. I asked that thing so many times to remove her from the shard pool. Like, they keep on saying it, this is the only way to get her if you're not getting her from shards. Yeah, that's fine. We do not want to get a dupe of her. It's not like Valkyrie level. It's not like Duchess. It's not like Siphi. It's not like Kaimar or any of those champions. So it's fine. If you don't want to buff her, remove her from shards. Everybody's going to be happy. Nobody's going to care about her anymore. They even going to forget that she exists eventually, you know?
Absolutely, 100%. All right, cool. Should I give you my first?
Yes, please. Which one is your first worst?
She's not the worst Void legendary at all, but she's just one that I think could really use a buff to make her incredibly viable, and it's Little Miss Annie. I'm a proud, lucky owner of Little Miss Annie, and I really, really love this champion strategy. Like, she is, in a world where there's a billion redundant single target damage dealer nukers out there, that's the problem, right? The redundancy of these champions. We have faceless, so why do we need 15 legendaries who can one-shot somebody in the arena, and that's the only thing they're good for? However, Little Miss Annie is unique in the sense that she has that first passive, Toys Don't Die, where she attacks when revived anybody who killed her, which synergizes so well in theory with like a Raglan or, any revive champions on the same team as her. And she just keeps dying, and then she keeps being revived and killing everybody who killed her. It's kind of a cool dynamic. And I just love the aesthetics of this champion. Her A3 play date is one of the hardest hitting one-shotters in the game, can kill like anybody. Talking Duchess fully shielded, a Siphi with increased defense. So I love the play date. The two things that I would want to fix on her, though, and I'm curious to see what you think of this champion, is I would like to see her auto into play date. I don't like that they want her to, on AI, go into Hollow Doll, her A2, to put a veil on herself, because it doesn't hit nearly as hard as the A3. So I would like her to auto into play date, which it sounds like we'll have the ability to do that ourselves soon, which is cool. And also, if they really wanted to make her viable, in my opinion, they could change this Toys Don't Die passive, and instead of her using her default ability when she's revived, which is a pretty hard-hitting 3-time hitter, go into play date. Go into that, basically kill whoever killed her, and that is the ultimate revenge. So that's my take on Little Miss Annie. That was a mouthful. What do you think about her, man?
Yeah, I think that would be great, actually, to revive and use a different skill to insta-kill. Even though I think the A1 on a proper build, she should be able to kill the nuker that killed her in that case. But if it's a tank, for example, let's just say she's on low HP, an arbiter uses her A1 on her, she dies, revives, but she probably won't be able to kill that arbiter with the A1. I think that would be a good fix. And talking about the AI fixing, I cannot wait for that, honestly. So many different champions, they're gonna become strong.
Overall, do you like Little Miss Annie?
I kind of agree with you. I'm not a big fan of champions that they only have one purpose in the game, and that's just to snipe. How you said, we have Faceless, we have a Royal Huntsman, Blood Gorge, we have Rotos. We have lots of champions that do this, including rare champions. So I feel like they tried to make something unique with her, to kept on being revived, but it's so hard even to play her around. Like, if you're going towards offense, she's more a defensive champion, but doesn't just fit right in the game, honestly.
Yeah, and to make her viable outside the arena, I almost feel like you want to stick with the A1 to proc Giant Slayer, and land heal reduction, I guess, against bosses. But it would be cool if the A1 did extra damage against bosses or something like that to make her viable outside just arena. I don't know. I love this champion, like, conceptually and aesthetically, as I mentioned, like, such a cool looking, such a creepy looking champion. I just want to see her have more utility in the game,
Absolutely, absolutely.
All right.
Hopefully she's on the list a bit as well.
Yeah, for sure. So who do you have next?
So I have next no one else than Wurlim. So
okay,
I'm not sure how you feeling about him. I got him from the Battle Pass. I'm not the lucky owner of two copies of him, thankfully. But I actually 6-star him to try to do a clan boss team with him. The AI is a bit bad on him as well, so that kind of put me off. In the end, I invested books in him, got everything up and running, chuck him back in the vault just for faction wars because the AI is a bit bad. But if that gets fixed, he might have a bit of potential. So what I would do to him, honestly, I would kind of try to focus him towards a bit more towards clan boss. Like his A3, probably I will knock it down to 3-turn cooldown. That would be a good thing. And either bring Leech doesn't fit so good with the team of the champion, but a defense down on the A1, maybe that would work pretty good. Or make the aura defense in all battles to be good for clan boss as well. Just so people that got him, they can actually get to use him. He does hit pretty hard, he has some nice buffs. I would raise his defense a bit higher. He has pretty low defense for a defense champion that's meant to do damage, and he has tons of HP. Speed-wise he's good, but rather than that, just Faction Wars, honestly, at the moment. What do you think about him?
Helped me out a lot in Faction Wars, and again, similar to Vizix being the first and only, it sounds like, Battle Pass champion ever added to this game. It sucks because you're pulling somebody who a lot of people had anyway. So I think that, you know, it's weird. You can't really remove him from the champion pool, but nothing's worse other than pulling a Vizix than pulling a Willem. So I think that's part of the reason that people hate him so much. Because I agree with you, a lot of people, he would be on almost everybody's list, I imagine. However, Icegrave Armor, I want to say there's like only a couple champions in the game, and I can't even think of who else has this off the top of my head, who have strengthen and increased defense on the same skill. So it's definitely an incredible ability, you know, Icegrave Armor. I would love to have it on 3-turn cool. If you just change that to a 3-turn cooldown, in my mind, he's one of the better support champions out there just because of the uniqueness of having these both abilities on the same skill. Or a really good support champion. But then I agree with you, man. I think that, you know, there's a little something to be desired there, you know, on his kit overall. So I would love to see that as well. It's nice to have the increased crit damage and the decreased crit damage, I guess. But to your point, even if you change the decreased crit damage to decrease attack or something like that, it'd just be so much more useful overall than decreased crit damage. But, you know, Whirlum,
I think it will be good for something, just at least clan boss or something. People will look different at him eventually if they pull him. Because I think that's everything that started all this Void rebalancing. They wanted to put Wurlim in a 10x. I'm not sure if you remember that, and everybody went crazy. We don't want Wurlim there, take him off. And then quickly they said, okay, we removed him. We're not gonna have him in the 10x. And then they said, okay, we're gonna work on that because we felt your pain when you guys didn't want it to pull Wurlim from Void Shards, you know. So yeah, definitely. So my next one I have is, he might be on your list too. I don't know, because I think he's a popular one, and that is Baron. So Baron was one of my first Void legendaries I ever pulled, and I finally found a use for him just in speed farming, like easy levels of Doom Tower, right? Because of his surplus damage off of the A1, which I know a lot of people are using, but that's not a real use to a champion, right? Just because he has surplus damage on his A1 that you can bully, you know, under-leveled troops with. Really, for me, first of all, he's very slow at 90 speed. Hate to see that. And Skypiercer is a really good ability, his secret skill. It ignores shield and block damage, which is nice. It ignores 100% defense because it deals pure damage. However, even Skypiercer, I almost feel like you put this on like a 6-turn cooldown or something like that and make him just like viable immediately for the arena. I don't know, maybe that would make him too OP, but I just don't like, similar to like we talked about when you were on my channel, I don't like the secret abilities, and we talked about like Mortu as well. I don't like the secret skills. So his other abilities, incredibly underwhelming on his A2 and his A3. Single target damage, does a decent amount of damage, but that's about it. What about you? Yeah, I feel like that secret skill needs to change. Is a A2 maybe go AoE, place that defense down without needing accuracy. I'm using him in the Spider team for defense down without being resisted, but that's about it. So it's nice, it goes through immunity, it goes through everything, so no matter what, you can land that defense down on the enemy, but single target not enough. Will be nice to be AoE. And I don't know, the skill either give me an unkillable, give me a block damage as soon as this activates, if you want to keep it like that, so then I'm guaranteed that I'm gonna use it, because if I'm gonna use my A1, A2, A3, I'm gonna unlock it. I gotta survive one more turn. In arena, it's not really gonna happen, man. Like, they really gotta change him. I feel like that's the problem with it, and he is super slow indeed.
Yeah, I guess that would, I don't think they're ever gonna change like his speed. So I agree with you. Just make that A2 and AoE, decrease defense guaranteed, kind of make a second Ghostborn type character. And exactly. I think that would not even make him OP, especially if you changed Skypiercer, or excuse me, if you kept Skypiercer as being a secret skill, you know? So
yeah,
there you go.
He won't be OP by that. Not at all, actually.
No. All right, so there's Baron. That's my second.
That's your second. So my third now. We're going to my third, right?
All right, yeah, let's do it.
Which is Baron as well for me too. That was my third actually.
Oh, okay. So you agree?
I definitely agree with Baron. Yeah, I think he was my third Void Lego that I pulled actually. I got pretty lucky. My first one was Krisk. My second was Sir Nicholas in literally 5 minutes distance. But then the third one was Baron. So I wasn't too hyped about him. I thought that I will be able to use him. And that was like 1.5 years ago. Maybe, yeah, around there. So it kind of felt like he might have a place at that point, but it still didn't have a place. Like he was so outdated compared with the rest of the champions, you know.
Yeah, when I first saw him being used in Doom Tower, I was like, wait a second, who's that champion again? He's been in my vault for so long, you know, like I didn't even build him, you know. So all right, my last Void is going to be one of the newer ones. I think probably not the newest, but one of the newer ones, and it's Yarkarl the Scourge. Yeah, man, I just kind of disappointed by this dude. He hits pretty hard. From what I've seen, I actually don't own him. But to me, yeah, I don't know, another a kit that has a bunch of single target, you know, damage that we're talking about here, and you know, an attack based champion that to me doesn't do anything super special. What do you? I don't know. I wouldn't know exactly how to fix him. It does feel like he needs an AOE in his kit, maybe his A3. But then again, there's so many kind of credentials as part of his kit too that I'm not sure what makes sense. Do you have any ideas?
Yeah, so
Or do you agree? Do you agree that he's underwhelming?
yeah, I do. I actually made a video on this champion a long time ago. I didn't really like him that much. He is pretty niche. It's pretty hard to get him a setup in anything. And I do feel like he needs an AoE freeze or something to make him similar with Gurgo, for example. Like, if I would have to compare these two champions, Gurgo with him, like, probably he's on a 3, Gurgo is on a 10, you know? Like, such a big difference in their kit. He does still Thermiter, all the fancy stuff. He has a wall of text in all the kit. Honestly, like, it's so much to read. But I feel like he needs an AoE freeze just off the back rather than to have to set it up like this, hit that target, and land the freeze on everybody else and stuff like that, you know?
Yeah, and I guess Glaciate is a 3-turn. It is an AoE after the third hit, I guess, right? Will also attack all enemies except the initial target after the third hit. So pretty much an AoE when you add it all together. But on a 4-turn cooldown with, you know, I don't know. I'm looking at a champion like this and I'm like, where's the guaranteed freeze on like an AoE, you know? It's still just Shuramani, if I'm correct, that has a guaranteed freeze, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's the problem. Like, they're making too much RNG into the game. Like, they're bringing so much RNG. They gotta just allow especially the legendary champions to actually have that thing guaranteed there. We still have the RNG of getting resisted even with 1,000,000 accuracy, so at least let those champions be good, especially that avoid legendary champion. Like this champion right here looks amazing, the background, everything they designed, it looks so badass, and then you get him and you're not too excited when you get him. You know what I mean? It's like,
yeah, dude, I do. I hope I don't pull him.
Exactly. Like
him and Pixneal can go chill together, you know, because they both look pretty awesome, and I don't know, the results may vary. Yeah, go ahead.
That was kind of the idea. So when they released the champions, I actually messaged the Diamond and I said, bro, like these champions, they're so bad. Why, you know? And he was like, well, wait till you use them together. I was like, yeah, probably in 1,000 years I'm gonna get both of them and use them together, and they still not gonna be that great. There are better options out there, you know?
No big deal. Yeah, just open a few $100 worth of Void Shards. Maybe you'll have a 1% chance of getting him. Or
exactly.
a 0.01. Yeah. Cool. Now we get to move on to the ones we actually love, right?
Absolutely. So should I start with that? I think we might agree on this.
Channel, bro. Go for it.
I think we might agree on this. Like, there are not many people to disagree with it, but I do think my number one Void is Siphi.
Okay.
What do you think about that?
I think that she's not on my list because I figured you put her on her.
Yours.
But yeah, man. I mean, I agree. She's a little bit like, dare I say, because she's still one of the best champions in the entire game. But I use her a little bit less now that they changed the cooldown on the A2. I still use her inside the arena, but that's pretty much it. Maybe in some of the tougher floors on hard and Doom Tower, like over 100. But that's pretty much the only areas that I use her. Where do you use her in the game?
I'm using her arena, Doom Tower, Faction Wars, yeah.
Same. Okay, same. So I think she's amazing, though. What can I say? You know, revival with the full turn meter is amazing. Her A2 is still an insane ability, and her speed is one of the fastest in the game.
It is like you can make so many different builds on this champion. Like it took me a long time to get her, man. Like I've been on a hunt for it. Like you have no idea for how long. And I got her like maybe 4 months ago, I think. Time is just flying, but it must have been like around 4 months ago. And I got my third coronar. I had like 120 shards. I got my third coronar in the first 10, and I was like, oh no, that's exactly what happened the previous 2x. And then at the end, in the last 4 shards, I got her. Like the hype was unreal, you know. Like I was, wow, I got her. Oh my god!
Was that on video?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Heck yeah, man. Heck yeah. Yeah, I mean, what can you say about Siphi? Dare I ask, to, at the risk of pissing off 90% of your audience, do you think she needs a nerf?
Honestly, I don't think so. I'm against nerfs, honestly. I feel like they should buff more champions to be able to compete with the other ones. Some of the people might say that the A1 might need accuracy. I feel like that would go against all her kit because of the resistance aura, a lot of us building her on resistance. I think she's a strong champion, but if you counter her right, she's just going down. Like Valkyrie is her biggest nightmare, honestly. Talking about
100%. I 100% agree with you, man. I don't think she needs a nerf. She would need a nerf if you owned her and you played her everywhere in the game, bar none, in front of every other champion. That's just not the case, She's really good at some areas. She's good at others, but she's not like so OP that she boxes out every other support champion in the game everywhere,
Exactly.
All right. So I'm going to go with the other most obvious choice then, I guess, and go with Krisk.
Nice.
I mean, if you're going to make a case to nerf champions in this game, which I am not doing even with Krisk, I guess Siphi and Krisk would probably be up there. Like they're really, really good. I can say that no champion that I ever pulled changed my account more than Krisk the Ageless and Dracomorph. It was kind of a 1-2 punch on offense and on I guess the defensive end. But Krisk, it's hard to even call him a defensive based champion because he's so versatile. I mean, 3 AoEs, AoE decreased speed, AoE ally protect, and AoE provoke with increased defense on himself, increased speed on allies, and then his insane shield that he puts at the beginning of each round. I mean, the more you read over this, every time you read over this dude's kit, you're like, wow, he really is insane. Like you almost forget how much he does, even if you use him every day. You're like, wow, So yeah, he's insane, right?
Absolutely, like one of my favorite champs as well in the game. Like so good for progression. No matter where you're getting him, he's gonna carry you through the whole game. Honestly, clan boss, faction wars, arena, dungeons. No matter what content you bring him, he's gonna do it for you. And it has a very complex kit. I feel like he's so unique and he has so much potential in so many things. Like I just want more champions like him, and so we can have a lot of fun.
Yeah. How do you build your Krisk? I'm curious.
Well, I have 2 of them, luckily. One is on a shield set for a PvP for arena, and I have the other one stalwart for clan boss.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I have mine with actually have mine at like 100% crit rate with a semi-high accuracy as well, mainly for arena. But I use him everywhere because he's really one of those guys who you pretty much use anytime you need that extra support. You throw him in there. But I take it you're a big fan of the double shield, so to speak, with his passive and shield set for arena.
Yeah, absolutely. Since I got my next one on the list that we're going to talk in a second, I'm not using him as much anymore.
Oh, it's the same one, I guarantee. You go ahead and say it because I know who it is.
It might be Nekhret.
Yes. So, I just pulled him, man. Love this dude.
I know, he's insane. So we can move over to Nekhret. Chris, sorry you're a bit outdated. We're going to jump on Nekhret right now. Hopefully no hard feelings there. You're still one of my favorites. But Nekhret, man, like... A lot of people had the idea when he got released that he's not a good champion. He's not OP champion, like God tier level. But man, this champion can do so many things. The kit overall, it doesn't look like, wow, he's going to change my account. But it's going to change your whole playstyle. If you're talking about PvP, even for PvE, is extremely powerful. Like literally the nuker that goes next to him is not going to die, right? He's just not gonna die as long as he's alive. It's gonna be super hard to manage to kill it. Like, I'm running him in PvP. We're farming everything with him, man. Like, no matter what, I don't need to build another champion on shield. Just his passives, giving a immunity to my savage nuker, and bringing the shield for the rest. Like, it makes him the perfect farm for Hegemon teams, so the best counter.
Yes.
Is a brilliant champion. I literally love him. And having the ally attack as well to be able to clear up all these swift sets. Aura as well.
Yeah.
Like everything about him is good. Insane good base stats as well. Decrease attack, not being able to be resisted. 3 times hits there. So he doesn't deal a ton of damage. I don't need him to deal a ton of damage, but like the skills here as well that he has are just insane. What do you think about him? Like, why you like him so much?
Well, I was excited when I pulled him, I was super excited. You know, I wanted to stick him in a shield set and see what he did inside the arena. And I just undervalued, honestly, how incredibly good his Arise My Minions passive is. You know, like obviously you can read it, you know it's a good ability, but just to have that, you know, have the block debuffs and the strengthen, and if you put him in the shield set and the 6-turn ally protect on your Trunda or your Nuker before anything even happens, you know, like he goes first because it's a passive and it starts at the start of the round. It happens, you know, so not the start of his turn or anything like that. I mean, that is just really a game changer. To your point, it allows you to not have to worry about necessarily having that Battle Sage or, you know, Hacker and Smash Lord or Skytouch Shaman, whatever, your cleanser on your team, because you can just have him and just sometimes all you need is Trunda to go or your Nuker, whoever that is, right?
Exactly.
So, and plus that really good shield as well. I mean, I think that for me, he's definitely changed the durability of my nuke team, which is great. I'm winning a lot of battles that I previously wasn't with him on the team. However, I haven't tried him yet in other teams like in Doom Tower and stuff like that. What is your experience using him? Do you use him in like the most challenging levels of Doom Tower?
Honestly, I'm not really using him in PvE so much. I'm not saying he's not great. He's amazing for that as well. But for some reason, I purely focused him for PvP, you know. I'm sure I can find him uses for PvE as well. I kind of tried to tune him in a team for Clan Boss. It got pretty hard with the extend debuffs and things, so I kind of left that behind. I only tried a bit. Then I literally said, okay, arena time only because tomorrow is the reset. And I never got back to it to try him in Clan Boss. But game changing for PvP, honestly. Like, oh my god.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree 100%. I love this guy. I'm so happy I pulled him. Very tough to get, but very, very good champion. All right. Absolutely. I guess I'm up next here, right? Yes, so, well, I guess he was my dude, Nekhret the Great, right? So I'm gonna. I had it between 2 champions that I wanted to kind of give this last one to. I was gonna go with Krutraxa because I think that with Doom Tower, she's like a very special single target nuker in the sense where you can actually use her as a nuker in Doom Tower, and she's really effective, even against bosses. So I really like Krutraxa lately, but I think I'm going to give it to my most wanted champion right now, and that is Cardiel. Do you have him, first of all?
I don't have Cardiel, I don't have Krutraxa, but they're both on my list, honestly.
Okay, so if you had to have one, who would you pick?
Oh, that's a hard choice, man.
Put you on the hot seat, man.
Ooh, I don't know, honestly. I don't know. Like, I love Cardiel as well. I love Krutraxa. I kind of like Krutraxa's design more. I feel like she's older, so I feel like I would want to get her before him just because she's been in the game for so long and I still don't have her, you know?
But, yeah. That makes sense to me. I thought you were going to go with a newer one just because it's like the newer, shinier object, but I totally understand that logic as well. I just really want him for the thing that I just said I don't need him for when we're talking about Nekhret, having like a revive, having an upgrade to Skytouch Shaman on my arena team with this Angel song seems like it'd be really, really cool. The revive on death cannot be removed, and then he can come back in and give the increased crit damage, increased crit rate on his next turn. I think that he's just a really, really good champion. And then all the Fiend Warden, all the passive and the doing less damage against certain factions is an interesting dynamic that I think adds an extra bit of, okay, he's bringing something extra to the table here that I'm honestly surprised. I mean, we give Plarium a lot of crap at times, but with these new champions, for the most part, they're able to think of like new abilities and new dynamics they can bring into the game, which I imagine must be pretty difficult with so many new champions being added constantly, not to make them super redundant. At least in legendaries.
Yeah, I definitely agree on that. And the designs on the champions, they look amazing all the time. So
yeah,
that's a plus for me. For me, instant, you know. The champion is great. Like how you said, I would want him as a replacement for a Skytouch Shaman. Now, since I got Nekhret, I kind of dropped Skytouch Shaman from Arena. Like, I'm using Immunity Madame. That's all I'm going usually through it. And Savage Trunda with Nekhret in the team. So, because of it, I kind of dropped on a Sky Touch Shaman, but before I used to run her on and on, honestly. It's just amazing.
That's how I am right now. Yeah. But I don't know. I just love the new ally attack champions. Again, we talked about it with Nekhret, but same thing with Cardiel. And I think he's a unique and really, really good champion. You know, like he's the best guy that they've added in a while since Nekhret, which was like 3 months earlier.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So I think those are my favorites, right? I have because I copied Nekhret, I slid Kruchaxa in there, and Cardiel is my last one.
That's
do you have did you do your 3 yet?
No, I'm on it actually, and it's still on my most wanted list, guys. Probably you know it. It's no one else but Hegemon right here. This bad boy. Even though I've been saying it, and we've been saying it, me and my buddies, for the last few weeks, he's kind of dropping down in arena. He will drop soon out of the meta because everybody just has counters prepared for him, and they're not so prepared for other teams. So me, I'm literally just going for these teams, you know. Hegemons, I'm coming for you. You have a Hegemon, I'll be there knocking at your door on Monday morning. But
you're right though. Like Hegemon used to be for years, or for a year, he was the most annoying champion to go into in the arena. And now, to your point, man, it's just like everybody has a game plan for Hegemon. Either that or they're just avoiding the teams. It's not like you're going to get that many people off guard. I guess, how often do you use him on offense? Or you don't have him?
I don't have him.
I don't have him either. I don't have him either.
I wouldn't probably use him much on offense. The thing is with him is so talking towards the real end game of the game here is in arena, it kind of block your options when you're attacking an enemy team. So either you have to go with immunity, you have to go with the cleanser. If it's a damage one, you gotta go with the shield. You gotta protect your nuker. So it complicates your life quite a bit. But if you're prepared for him, like they're literally the easiest farms. Like I do find difficulties on some of the teams. It takes me 30-40 seconds to farm them, and I'm talking about the strongest teams you find in the entire game. But most of them, they're 8 seconds, 15 seconds, 20 seconds insta farms on them because Nekhret is coming for them, you know. So Nekhret is honestly the #1 counter for Hegemons, in my opinion.
100%. He really killed the Hegemon meta to some extent, at least. And when more people get Nekhret, I feel like it's going to become even more prevalent. But I mean, I'm still annoyed by those teams, especially, you know, when you get to like platinum tier arena. Are you able to go into the 2 like Nukemon teams, like the teams that run 2 like all out nuke Hegemons? So you can counter them with a good shield, especially if you have a Krisk. If you have a Ursaga, for example, they're pretty good counters for it. Krisk, because of the decrease attack, if you put him in the second slot of your team, you know how is the order 1, 2, 3, 4, for example. It all matters with the buffs and the debuffs of the team, especially when they attack. So he'll get attacked down by the time he gets to hit the rest of the team, you know. So he won't kill it. But they are super annoying, and for us, how I said, end game. But if you're in gold and the lower tiers, is a pain in the ass to deal with, and he's always gonna he's always gonna be there, a pain for the rest of the people. But he will drop slowly from the current meta in the top platinum arena, you know. Hey, you know what? I'm looking right next door to Hegemon, and I'm looking at Solus, and I almost wish that I changed Yarkarl to Solus on my list because I pulled him, and I haven't built him, and I don't think I'm going to. I think he's kind of been power crept out of the game to some extent. What, am I wrong on him? I haven't built him, so
no. I wish like his A2 was AoE. He can hit pretty hard with his A3 actually, so he's not totally useless. Maybe to boost a bit his base defense, a bit his speed, and make it
so bad. Yeah.
Make that provoke AoE. I think that would fix the champion, honestly.
Yeah, change that to an AoE. There's no reason not to, right?
Void Legendary, right? Void Legendary.
Yeah. I mean, it's a legend. Now they have epics with AoE provokes.
Even rares. By tomorrow, we'll have a few rares in there.
Yeah, right? Oh, so man. There we go. So that's our list, man.
Absolutely, man. But guys, hopefully you enjoyed it. We are curious to know about your favorites and not so favorites in the comments down below. Ash, thanks a lot for being here, man. Always a pleasure. And I will be leaving his link down in the description, guys. For whoever doesn't know Ash, make sure you guys go and check him out. Subscribe to his channel. Awesome dude. How you guys probably noticed already. Ash, if you want to say your goodbyes as well, buddy.
Dude, I appreciate you having me on the channel. Love your content. I told you this when you came on my channel, but you're one of the first guys that I found when I picked up Raid Shadow Legends, and just learned so much from your channel. So keep up the good work, and thanks for having me on, man.
Thank you the same, brother. Peace out and have a good one.